In marketing, almost everything gets judged by one question. Did it convert? If something doesn't drive conversions, it's often labeled as ineffective, or worse, dismissed as a vanity metric. But here's the important distinction. Conversions matter, they're critical to the business, they're just not where learning starts. A conversion is the end of a decision process. By the time someone fills out a form, books a demo, or makes a purchase, most of the decision making already happened upstream. Their interest formed earlier, their confidence built earlier, their intent was shaped earlier. So conversion doesn't teach the system how to get someone there, it confirms that it already worked. Marketing platforms are learning systems. They don't just respond to outcomes, they learn from behavior. When the only signal you give the system is a final conversion, you're asking it to reverse engineer everything that led up to that moment. That works poorly, especially when budgets are small, audience are niche, or sales cycles are long. When early signals disappear, models guess. And when models guess, performance becomes volatile and expensive. This is where a lot of confusion enters the conversation. Metrics like time on page, scroll depth, or engagement often get dismissed as vanity metrics. And to be clear, these are not KPIs. They don't belong on an executive scorecard. They don't measure business outcomes, but that doesn't make them meaningless. Their value isn't in reporting performance. Their value is in revealing behavior. This distinction is critical. KPIs evaluate results. Signals train system. KPIs belong in dashboards. Signals belong in learning models. When teams confuse these two, they either ignore important behavior or try to force behavioral signals into outcome reporting. Both lead to bad decisions. Signals are inputs. KPIs are outputs. They serve different purposes. Another common mistake is assuming that all meaningful data needs to trend upward. That makes sense for revenue, it makes sense for conversions, but it doesn't always make sense for behavior. Some behaviors matter by their presence, not their trajectory. Certain actions indicate readiness, others indicate hesitation. Some patterns are meaningful, even when they're inconsistent. Not all important data is meant to grow over time. Some data exists to be interpreted, not trended. So instead of asking, did this convert? Better questions are, what behavior did this unlock? What did this teach the system? What signals are we reinforcing earlier in the journey? Because performance doesn't improve when reporting improves. It improves when learning improves. Conversions still matter. They always will. But if you only measure what converts, you miss what actually creates conversion. And that's where most performance problems quietly begin. In the next video, I'll walk you through how these problems show up before ads ever launch, and why experience saves money long before optimization ever starts.